Hey y'all, Dylan here. Today I'm going to be showing you an AI agent that can help you with your sales. His name is Sammy, the sales assistant. What he's going to do is he's going to be able to look at any of your calendar event for sales events. He's going to then be able to research them. He's going to look for you in the contacts. He's going to look at them on the internet. He's going to be able to scrape their website, and he's going to be able to give you any information you need and then be able to then email those leads that you have so that you can close more deals and make more money with AI agents. So if that sounds interesting, I'm going to show you a step-by-step on how this works, and I'm also going to be making the templates available down in the links below. So if that sounds interesting, let's get into it, shall we? All right, so right here we have Sammy, the sales assistant. We're going to be hooking up through Telegram, and these are just some of the flows we have inside of here. We have the email assistant, the flow. We have the calendar of events hooked up to one of my calendars. We have contacts, which is hooked up to a database. SERPA right here, scraper that's going to be able to scrape a website. SERPA that searches Google. And then we have a calculator for any math-related questions and things we need to do. I'm going to go ahead and get started here by hitting test workflow. We're going to open up Telegram here with Sammy, the sales assistant. And I'm going to say, it's going to ask me how I can assist me today. And I'm going to go and I'm going to say, what events do I have on my calendar for the day? I'm gonna hit enter just like this. And I'm gonna hit command start to get this thing flowing. It's gonna grab this data. We're gonna open this off to the side here. And we can see here, it's looking at my calendar events. And on my calendar event, I have one meeting here with my wife, Tanya. And it actually has a link to her website that's been listed inside of the calendar event. And so go, great, that's wonderful. I'm gonna ask it, what information can you find about her and about her business online, say, as it relates to my money skills? I'm gonna hit test workflow just like that. Now what we're gonna do is it's gonna search the internet for her and her company, My Money Skills. And we can see that certified public accountant. Her focus appears to be on education, people, taxes, accounting, and through various media channels. More details, let me know. Cool, we're gonna say that's fine. Now, besides that, I'm gonna say, great, scrape her website and let me know who her ideal clients are. All right, and so I'm gonna hit that. I'm gonna hit enter like this. We're gonna see this thing running. And now it's gonna hit the scraper agent over here. It's gonna be running back through on this side. It's gonna be going over her website, which is right over here. And we can get this thing back when it comes back to here on this. We're gonna see the data come through. And our ideal are entrepreneurs, small business owners that want to better understand and manage their finances to aim successful businesses. Great. So now we have information on who she is and who she serves. Wonderful. Now we're going to say, okay, this is great. What I want to do is I want to send her a message. And so inside of here, I have a little database with my email and her email inside of here. And so I'm going to go, great. Can you send her, let's just say, can you send her and Dylan Watkins an email about how we will discuss how AI and automation will help her serve small businesses. Great. And we'll say in our meeting today. Right. It's a little chunky, but let's go ahead and enter there. I'm going to send that across. Now it's going to be going across here. It's going to look up the contact in the database. It will then go into the email status over here. It will then send an email over here to Tanya and to Dylan, being able to have that information go across. And we can see this going across here. Let's go take a look at this. And let's just see what this sales assistant has to say about it all. Cool. All right, so now if we do this, and let's go check the Gmail, we can see that this was sent to both Tanya and Dylan. This is great. So this is just showing you how you can send these messages up, over, and across. And yeah, this is the sales assistant. So let's go step by step over this and let's run through a bit of this flow so you can see exactly how this works. And then we're going to do a little bit of the build out. Great. Inside of here, we have the top level flow with the Telegram trigger Now, inside of here, we can also do a voice file, a voice meeting, a transcribed audio message that will then go through to the personal assistant and then also receives text. Let me show you how this whole thing works. So I'm gonna clear my recording inside of here. So if I go here, I can hit clear chat history just like this. And then if I want to do an audio recording inside of here as well, I can say, I can do this example. What is the contact information for Tanya Miramontes? I'm going to hit Command Enter so we can have this thing get executed. You can see it's downloading the audio file, transcribing the audio file, hitting assistance, hitting my contact agent, and it's going to the database there, and then it's going to populate back through. And we can see here, it did pull up the right information inside of my simple database inside of here, and we can see that worked as well. So we can see both the audio and the video itself is working great. So now let's go ahead and run through this a little bit and show you how everything else works. I hit save. So the way that this is working, and I'm going to walk this through from left to right inside of here, is we have a Telegram trigger, right? That is, we created a new assistant inside of here with the Telegram bot. And this data that's being sent across here, it hits a switch. And the switch has two routing rules, right? So for a voice file, we're going to route up this way and say if a voice file exists, we're going to send it up this way. If it's text message or a message, we're going to route it another direction. We're going to have this be output name be text. Now, this is what's going to route this set as text. It's going to come this way, and then it'll hit the assistant. If it's going to hit the voice, we go up this way to the top here, and then we're able to download the file across in this bot. And then once we download that, we can then hit OpenAI and then transcribe it. That's what allows us to get it to the personal assistant over here. We have the intelligence model hooked up to OpenAI. We're using some window buffer memory. And then let's just do a quick run through before we go into a deep dive of each one of these agents. So right here is an email agent. If we open this guy up here, inside of here, you can see that these are the different tools that this agent has access to. We can send emails, we can reply to messages, label, draft, get all the messages, label the messages, mark as unread. So if I was to show you send messages inside of here as an example, one of the key features that we're using is this from AI expression. This from AI expression lets people know, and you can see inside of here, lets the AI know, I want you to feel this in. And if you actually look at this expression, the from AI, this little quotations here, lets them know that this is the email address. So it gives it context of how to use it. This is the subject and this is the email body. So when the AI is writing this out, it knows that this is what we're going to be using. Now, the same is true for the replies and everything else inside of here. It's the same type of format and same style. But just as a high level, that's what it's going to be doing. Now we have try again and success. Whenever you have an AI agent coming through here, on the backside, you have these outputs. And when you have a sub agent, which is this when executed by another workflow, and this comes into here, the backside is going to be sent back up the chain to the main primary agent here. So this comes in, this flows into here, this hits the email agent, that comes in to this section in here, and it either does try again or success. And we can see the successful output says the email has been sent to Dylan. And so we can see that's how this flows into here. Calendar, what this does is it has access to my calendar that I have created inside of here. We can talk about what that looks like. This is just one of my calendars here, DylanWatkinsAI.com. And we give it start time and end time. And this allows it to, you can see that the output here is looking for the discovery meeting, right? It's updating the calendar events if we're going to put this inside of here. But we didn't do that one. We did get events. And you can see that's why this one's got a green checkbox that asked, what events do I have for the day? We can take a look at that. And we can see inside of here, when we put in from AI and we have quotations here the day before, you can see the description here from the key, the example here in the box in the top right is up here. The from AI expression, you put in a key, which right now is when are we looking for this time for getting events, and then a description. And then you see below this is the double quotation says the day before the date of the user requested. And so this just lets the API know from Google Calendars that the request is, I want you to look for the day before the event and the day after. And then that goes up and that looks inside the Google Calendar API to find out that I do have this one event in my calendar for the date. And so that's how you use that from AI. And again, you have the success and failure, same type of pattern. We have a response. Whenever you're sending these messages out of an AI agent, you're going to send it over here to this success or try again. And you can see here this response coming through, and then try again here. You can see unable to perform tasks, please try again. This just sends the message back up to the primary agent, personal sales assistant. That didn't work. We need to try that again. And that's how that works. Now, looking at the contact agent here, going into this, what we have for the contact agent is we have an Airtable database. Now, inside the Airtable database, we have another agent, which is primary functions to create the database. We have get contacts or add or update. So we can always put in and add new contacts into the database. But this is just a simple get contacts API call. And then over here, we have add or update as well. And this is using, you can match using name, email, and phone number if we want to add that inside of here, inside of the database. Then we have responses. We have an output. Now, this JSON output, all this is saying is that primarily N8N uses JSON to communicate. And so what it's saying is the last message I want you is the dot output is the dot function. And this allows us to grab the data of the last JSON message and say, this is the output. Now we have this and try again, same pattern. So that is the contacts. The scraper is a little bit different. Now, the way that this one works, we can see what we have here is we have this a bit more of a linear design, but we have two pieces. One, we have an initial AI agent here that is really grabbing website data like Tanya Marimont is coming through and then making sure that we could format it in the way that we need to. So we're grabbing just the query of the message. This is coming through null, but we're passing this along as an output. Now, if we look at this coming across here, let's just take a look at one of the more recent executions here. We can see here the message that's coming across, the assistant, it's formatting it in a way that just to want to make sure that we get that format correct. Now, this is getting passed along to this HTTP request that is now scraping the website data inside of here with the content. And then we have this H from the website where we're going to grab all the data, and this asterisk here is just grabbing basically all items. And so it's going to extract all this data out for us to be able to then use it inside of here to make sure we just get all the text that we need from the thing. Now, from here, we have the summary, which basically we're feeding it the information inside of here, and we're just telling it, hey, I want you to summarize what we want from the website inside of here. And then once we get that, we then kick out the output, which then gives us a summary of the website itself. And again, we're using this results or response to send that data back through. And then SERP API is just an API that is connected up to Google and allows us to make requests based upon the AI agent itself. And then the final one is a calculator. This is just a simple calculator for calculations, but it's not being used right now. So this is everything that we have inside of here from top to bottom. And you can see just the general flow on how everything works. We can go through and step through this one by one to build this out so that you can see how this works. But again, if you want this template available, it is going to be linked down below so that you can be able to access it, use it. But just at a high level, that is how the entire system works and functions. So if you're curious about how to make this piece by piece, let's go through and build this whole thing out from top to bottom. All right, so let's go ahead and we're going to click create workflow like this. So we have a blank workflow here. So we're going to go first step here. We're going to open up this trigger. We're going to go to trigger. We're going to go to Telegram. We see this on update or on message. We can click on this one. You see where it says update messages. So this is where we're going to start. And just to show you how this thing flows here, what we're going to want to do is we can go to the docs. Here at the top is the docs. And we can take a look at this and we can see how this Telegram node works. We can go through the process and look through the different messaging on this. I do recommend checking out the documentation on all of this and how it works. But what we're going to want to do is we're going to want to go to the bot father. So go and download Telegram itself. And if you check out the thing called the bot father, so you go bot father, and it says, connect me to bot father like this. You can see where it says start bot. This is how you can get started with the bot father, right? So example, I go inside of here and you have this bot father. We see where it says start bot father, just like this. And you can see download for Macs. We can start this bot father. So here we are at the bot father. And what you're going to do with this bot father, once you get to this page, you can hit start bot. We're going to click start. And you can see inside of here, we have a whole bunch of different requests inside of here. And what we're going to want to do is new bot. It goes, what do you want to call this bot? We're going to call this Sarah Sales. That's going to be her name. And we're going to call, what do we want to call this one? We're going to call this one Sarah Sales. We're going to have it Sales Assistant Bot. All right. I'm going to hit enter. And so now we have made Sarah the sales assistant bot. Now what we're going to do here is if we want to go to that one inside of here, we now have the messages inside of here where we can go ahead and click start, and she is now connected. If we go to our trigger here inside of here, it says test step inside of here, we're going to want to create a account and new credentials. So if we go inside of here, we're going to hit create new credentials. It says access token. The way that we get our access token from Telegram is we want to go inside of here. We can see that we have this access token for this API. And what we're going to do is we're going to grab this token just like this across here. And then we're going to paste this in. And then we're going to title this one. And we're going to call this one Sarah Sales Assistant. Cool. Now we're going to hit save. We've got that green check mark. So we are now connected to this. And if we want to talk with it, we're going to go ahead and then click on the Sarah Sales Assistant right here. And if we want, we're going to go ahead and test this step out real quick. Test step. And we're going to say hi. Right. And we can see here that we did get some initial message through, which is great. We now have this trigger here connected for this Telegram trigger. The next thing we're going to want to hook is up this switch. So we're going to go to switch, just like this. And we can see that the message that we've got coming through here, we're going to want to create two values, right? And so these are rules that we're going to want to put in place. So the first thing we're going to want to do is connect this text file here. And we can do this by switching to this schema. And we're going to be able to grab this file, drag this inside of here like this. It says on message text. And we want to change this to exists. Right? So if this exists, we're going to send it one way, and we're going to rename this output here. I'm going to call this one text, just like that. The next thing we're going to want to do here is we're going to add another routing rule right inside of here. I'm going to close this out. We're going to hit save. And so we've created another routing rule inside of here. And this route, we're going to give this one a name. We're going to call this one voice. Hit enter, just like that. Hit save. And inside of here, we're going to hit command enter on Mac to test this out. And we're going to run the voice. And inside of here, let's do a voice. Hello, how can you help me today? Just put that in here. We can see that we've got another routing. So if we look at this, we can see that we have a voice coming through here on this side. And what we're going to want to do is we're going to want to grab this other rule for this voice section. We're going to drag it inside of here. And we want to say, does this exist? So now that this is connected, we have now the voice and we have the chat. So we see if the message exists for the text, we go up here. If the voice exists, we go down here. And now we have that. We're going to hit save. We can test this workflow one more time. Go inside of here and we can go, hello. We can see that was voice. Let's try text. I'm going to type in hi. We got text. And you can see here that we had this now. That was the text because that came through as a text. So we know the route is now set up. In order to be able to route these around, and I just want to switch this across like how we have here. We can drag this up top. Drag this down here. We have text on the bottom and voice on the top. All right, you can see how this has been flipped around. And now what we're going to want to do is we're going to hit the Telegram, type in Telegram, go to the top here. We're going to hit download and do Telegram. We go here and we're going to be looking for is for the Telegram. We're going to type in get file right here. And we're going to want to make sure the account we have is the right one. So we're going to click Sarah Sales here. So we can go ahead and we're going to hit test workflow. I'm going to go, this is a test. And so now we need to connect this together. And so now that we have that coming through, we're going to be looking for the voice ID. So here is the voice ID. We can drag this into here. And now we have the voice ID, and we're going to be able to download this ID. Now, again, we can call this one download. We have that connected. And the next piece we're going to want to connect here is we're going to want to go to OpenAI and have it be transcribed. So we go to OpenAI right here. You type in transcribe. And so what we can do here is we can transcribe this recording. So we go for transcribe a recording. There we go. And that's connected. And what we're going to want to do here is we go up to the top, we go to audio where it says transcribe a recording. You see where it says data. All that looks good. And what we can have here is, and just to show you this little, I'm going to zoom in here a bit. This test step allows us to be able to test the step from the previous node. And since we brought this up and over and across, we now have been able to get the data, and now that it's connected, it passes it over here. So we get the binary data file type inside of here. Binary is just how they pass through voice or images or things like that. So now we've been able to download that file. So now we want to run it to OpenAI to transcribe it. So we're going to hit run step here. And inside of here, you can see that this is now, we got the file, and now we've seen that's been downloaded as a voice. This is a test, and we can see that we've been able to get that data. The next step we're going to do here is we're actually going to create the AI agent. So we're going to zoom out here, hit this plus sign, advanced AI agent. We're going to scroll down here to the bottom. We're going to open up this AI agent right here. And then what we're going to do here, we have this set. And what we're going to do is we are not going to be doing chat user inputs. We're going to then change this out to define below. And we're going to want to grab this, and we're going to put this in here. And so this is going to be JSON.text. And so this is going to be text coming from either the voice that's been transcribed or from this switch node, which is going to be just the actual straight text. And so we're going to have this, we're going to select this set field, most popular nodes that are out there. And it just allows us to be able to grab the data and then save it and use it as variables. And what I mean by that is I'm going to change this name to set as text. There we go. Hit rename. And then what we're going to do is we're going to open this up. We're going to hit save over here on this side. Let's see if we can run this, even with this as being read. We're going to hit command test. We're going to open the Telegram here, and I'm going to type in hi. Yeah. So we can see here, because we got this, it's outstanding. It doesn't like this being read, so we can't run this. So just to show you this, we're going to open up the chat model. We're going to give it some intelligence here with OpenAI. We're going to make sure that we have, let's go ahead and select this N8N icon here for OpenAI. So you can select this. If you don't know how to set your OpenAI API, all you need to do is watch a previous video I show you on how you can get your credentials like OpenAI and everything else. But you simply go to platforms.openai.com. You log in there, you grab your you create an API key, and then you put it inside of the credentials. When you hit create new account, you drop in your API key, and then you are good to go. We have this inside of here. We're going to have this be a set text field. And what we're going to be doing here is we're going to add a field. We're going to type in text just like this. And then what we can do here is this execute previous nodes. This execute previous nodes will be able to grab the previous nodes that were done and send this over and across. So now that we have this intelligence piece right here, we're going to add a memory behind it. And we're going to go to window buffer memory, select that. That's fine. And then inside of here for tools, we're going to hit save. We're going to set the tools up in just a little bit. So now that's not broken. And we're going to open up this inside of here. We're going to type in hi, just like that. That's come through. That's routed down here to the bottom. And then what we're going to want to do is we can show you here by clicking on the schema. You see where it says text just like this. We're going to drag this up over and across. And now we've got that message.text coming across to here. And then this will also be routed into the AI agent. So either way, we're going to be either downloading audio and transcribing and turning it into text, or we're just going to grab the text and send it across here. And that's how you can send in both audio and video across. Now that we have these elements all set, the next thing we're going to need to do is we want to create a response back. So we can go here. In terms of this, we'll type in Telegram. And we go send a message. And from here, sending this message over and across, this chat ID is actually, you're going to be getting the Telegram trigger from the previous. So we're going to hit execute previous nodes. Hope there's nothing in here. There's no response inside of here. We're going to want to go into the AI agent real quick, open this up. And then what I'm going to do here, I'll show you how to do this, but we're going to go ahead and create a new system message. We're going to open up system message. We're going to open this on expression just so we can fully expand this out. And just for simplicity, I'm going to paste in the system prompt. And what you can do with this is I'm going to show you this right now. This text will be made available if you're looking at this through the course, but essentially you can take a screenshot of this, upload this OpenAI, and have it transcribe this for you. So you can see that this is just an overview of what it is, lets you know all the tools that it's going to have available, the rules of how you're sending it, the input examples, some reminder messages on what you want to do. And then over here was just some examples, things I was shoving into it for the demo to make sure that when we get the data back for sending messages, it doesn't break the Telegram message. So this is everything inside of here. That looks good. And we have everything being sent across inside of here as well. We can test this step. That's worked successfully. We've gotten that data across. And right now, what we can do is let's add in a example output. And what we're going to do here is let's hook up this SERP API because it's the simplest one to put in place. We're going to hit tools. We're going to type in SERP API from Google. And you can see here, there's these ones you set up before. If you go ahead and create new credentials, again, API key, you can go to Open Docs. This shows you how to actually get the SERP API documentation. You click inside of here. You can see by going to this section inside of here, you can actually be able to get your own SERP set up for it. Type in serp.com. When you go to serp.com, you can sign in or register. And then inside of here, very simple, grab your API key and then throw this back inside of here. And then you'll have this all set up, ready to go. So now that we have this connected, I'm going to hit save. What I'm going to ask this to test the workflow real quick is we're going to type in, can you search for Dylan Watkins on the internet and tell me what you find? We're going to make a message just like that. We're going to test the workflow. And this chat ID is broken. So what I'm going to do here is if this is broken like this, just so you can see it, what we want to do is we're just going to delete this for the moment just to get the output. I'm going to hit save. We're going to test this workflow again. And we're going to put in this copy, paste, enter. It says no session memory. So this no session ID memory, what this is happening is because right now, this thing, just so you can see this, it's having a hard time knowing what the session buffer memory is because this is looking at the chat ID section inside here. And we want to change this from this to define below. And we're going to want to execute previous nodes. We're going to want to grab in the actual Telegram trigger. So the way that this works, because this is a big common error, we're going to go ahead and we want to paste into the key here. I'll show what this looks like as a fixed expression. This right here, what this is telling that we're going to grab the Telegram trigger node. We're going to grab the items, the JSON, the message, and the chat ID. So now it has the actual chat ID for the session. We're going to hit save, and you're going to see me test this again. And we're going to type in this so you can show the output here. Hit this message here, and we're going to hit enter. Now it's got that session ID, circling the SERP API, going back and forth, and now it's created an output. All right, so human-centric designer, all this fun stuff. Great. So now we have that. Let's go ahead and rehook up that Telegram trigger. I'm going to go here, inside of here, and then we want to go into send a message. Send just like that. Hit save. Okay, now what we're going to be doing is we are going to connect this Telegram right here. We can see that this is connected up here. We want to be able to put in a chat ID inside of here. And what we're going to be doing here is we're going to want to connect this one over with the Telegram chat ID. And so if we clicked here, and this is a drop-down node from the input section inside of here, we can see that this is from here, and we have the chat ID right here. So we can see here, if we put this inside here, chat ID, we can see that this is Telegram trigger.items.json.message.chat ID. And then what we're going to have here is we want to have this be a JSON.output. And so what this says is essentially, we're going to turn this into an expression. The output that is going to be coming right here, like that, from the AI agent here, is going to go right into here. And that is how you do it. We're going to turn this guy on. So you can see this is off to on. That's the on button. I'm going to hit save here. And so now when we go to do a test run to see if this thing is working, we're going to hit test workflow like this. We're going to open up the sales agent and we're going to go, okay, search the internet for AI agents and let me know what you find. All right, we can do that. We're going to hit enter. It's going to go here. It's going to search the internet. It's going to have this, and now it's going to create an output message like this. And we can see here, we open this up. We can see that we should have gotten an output message in here. This did not output as expected, so let's dive in and take a look at that. We can see here, it says, I found on AI agents, which are designed for workflows alongside users, even performing on tasks on their behalf, generative technologies. Okay, cool. So for some reason, we did not get that came across here to this, but we actually did not get the message to come through. So let's find out exactly why that is happening. And also we're going to go in here and we're going to take this append and we're going to be turning off the append attribute, which means that when they send messages, it sends brought to you by N8N and all that jazz. So let's see, and let's try to debug what exactly is that, why is that happening? So we know that this is going to be using that chat ID. So let's double check that we're using the right ID inside of here. We have this Telegram items message.json chat ID. So that looks right inside of here. And we can see here, if we hover over it, it's 521. Let me just zoom in here. We have 521-430-6786. So just to grab a simple image of that, let's grab that. We can have that pop open on our screen right here so we can just take a look at that message. Over here, we can zoom out, close this down, and let's just see if we are getting the same chat ID message over here. And we can look here, and we can see that this is the same chat message coming in, 430-6846. So we know that is the same chat ID, so it's holding the same context, and I see what's going on here. At the top here, where it says credentials connected to the account with, we can go here, and what we want to do now is we want to switch this one out to Sarah's Sales Assistant. So we can see that was just on the wrong account. Now that we have that working, I'm going to close this out because we've confirmed that. Let's try this again. We're going to open this up, and we're going to say, I'm just going to grab search the internet for AI agents and let me know what you find. Hit paste, hit enter. It's going to search. I'm going to find some things on AI agents based on the internet. Kind of kick that back, and there you go. So we can see that the search feature is now working inside of here. And so we are down with that search feature. So the next one we're going to want to hook up is we're going to want to connect our email agent. The way we're going to be doing that is we're going to create another tool here. We're going to go to call N8N workflow here. And we want to rename this at the top here to email agent, just so we have the right naming inside of here. We're going to call this one email agent. And inside of here, we have the description. So this lets the AI know, the agent know how to use this tool, what's the name of the tool, and also the description. And also with the name, it's got to be no spaces. So email agent, just like that. And you're going to type in, call this tool for any email actions. Great. And then the thing is, we can then pick from a list, what is the workflow? We can either give it, you can search for its name, or we can search for the ID. So either the name from the workflow list or the ID. If we were going to connect that together, I'm going to hit save here. And let's just go ahead and make another workflow. I'm going to hit Command Shift to create that. If I want to create a new workflow, I can hit this plus sign and then hold down Command and click on Workflow. So now I've made a new workflow. And let's just call this one Sub Agent Email Example, just so we can connect these two and make sure it's right. What we can do here is the way that we grab this is at the top of here, we can see that there is a unique ID here at the top where I'm going to highlight, and this is the ID that we can connect to our primary workflow over here. So I'm just going to close this out, and we're going to go inside of here, and we're going to switch this to unique ID. We're going to enter in this ID. So now that we have that connected, we can see that email agent is connected. So now we've been able to connect that email agent together. So now when the AI agent calls the email agent here, it will then go inside of there. We won't do anything inside of here right now because there's no way to hook into it. So we want to create a trigger, which is called execute by another workflow, right? So just like that, we can switch this out to accept all data. And what we're going to do here, when it says execute by another workflow, we're going to automatically connect this to our advanced AI agent. So we go advanced AI agent. We're going to scroll down here to AI agent. And then what we're going to do is we're going to want to give it a couple of things here. One, for the top of this, just to keep things easy going, we're going to switch this out to define below. And what we're going to do is we're going to pass in the JSON query. We switch this to expression. And when AI will send messages over, it will be done in this format. So we type in money sign JSON dot, we put in query, Q-U-R-Y, and that will be the query message that will be coming in from there. The system message, I'm going to put inside of here, system message, just like this. I'm going to paste this in. I'm going to expand this out so you can take a screenshot of it. Very simple. You're an email assistant, must be professional, HTML. Here are some things that you can be able to do, which were all the tools. We're going to give this AI agent. And then this is currently the time is now, so it understands what time it is. And then I also put in it's being signed off as Dylan, as me. You can change your name or whatever you like. And you can see on this side, we have what we put in, but because it's an expression, it's grabbing this now variable, which is a built-in function of N8N, and you can see it being brought across here like this. So now we have that set up. We're going to want to connect some intelligence. So we're going to give it OpenAI, push out to the N8N, and then we're going to go down here. We can pick mini or whatever. We're going to leave it as that. And then we want to give it some tools. It doesn't really need the memory because it's taking just primary actions. And so we can start hooking up tools. So if I go to Gmail tool, I do not think that, okay. That went to send a message like this. You can see the bottom here. I'm just going to zoom in here a bit. It says send message, right? What we can do with this, we're going to open this up. And again, you can pick whatever ones you want to use inside of here. I think I use this Gmail automation one for what I'm doing. And then what you're going to do is you're going to paste in this common response that we use for a lot of the AI agents here is we're going to use this money sign. I'm going to change this to an expression. And we're going to basically put in money sign. And then you can see from AI where it's populated in there, fill it in. We're going to do quotes and we're going to call this one email address. So it knows that is the email address and leave that as is. Inside of here, we can do the same thing, but I'm just going to copy and paste this in that. And we're going to change this from email address to subject. And then we're going to do the same thing in here and it's going to be called email body. So when the AI goes to write these messages, the agent, it's going to look at these and it's going to populate it just based upon the information. This is exactly what we're going to do with the rest of these as well. But if I wanted to, for example, we can open this back up and go into Gmail. And again, this circle shows us this is the tool we have inside of here, and we can connect it this way. But what I want to do is essentially, I'm gonna highlight this. I'm gonna delete this. I'm just gonna copy this one, and you can see where it says duplicate, right? Or deactivate. Sorry, that's deactivate. Right click, and it says duplicate. Command D. We have another D here, and the reason just why I'm doing this is it already has my authentication credentials and all that jazz. I just want to rename this so it makes sense. So I'm going to do send email. Over here, I'm going to right click this and hit email reply. And then I'm going to connect that. And we're going to connect this tool up just like that. So that's now connected. Open this up. And now where it says in here, it says message, right? We can switch this out to what we want to have. And this is where we're going to go from send to, we want to have this be reply. So we're going to have this be from send to reply. And this is where we're going to want to give it the message ID. The message ID, very much like the thread ID or Telegram ID, they're all basically around holding the context of the conversation. So what is the context of the conversation? So I'm going to do money sign from AI. I'm going to call this one here. I'm going to put this one ID. And then we're going to put in here, I'm going to put another section in here to describe what it is and call it the message ID. And then we have the email body inside of here already. So all of that looks good. So that's connected. And again, I'm going to highlight this time, Command D. I've made another one now. This next one is going to be the label emails. So we're going to go in here. We're going to rename this one to make it simple. I'm going to call this one label emails, just like that. We're going to connect this guy up here. All right, now that we've got that connected, and we're going to want to change this from reply to add label. And then we're going to want to have in here is another statement like this. And so I'm just going to copy paste this for simplicity, paste this in, and then we're going to call this one, we're going to change this to, paste this in. We're going to change this to label ID. No need to do a description of it. All right, and there we go. So now that is connected. And now we're going to do this again. Got a couple more of these going through. We're going to create a draft. Here we go. Actually, we're going to Command D this thing again. Hit save. Notice out of here. And I am just going to hit Command D. And we're going to do this a couple more times for creating a draft, for getting emails, for getting labels, and for marking something as unread. All right, so we're going to rename this to create draft. I'm going to right click this. I'm going to rename this to get emails, right? And then this next one, we're going to hold this one. We're going to rename this one get labels. And then this last one we're going to have rename as mark unread. Great. So now we've got that. Fantastic. We are going to connect these all up just like this. Those are all been connected. And then we're going to go through the same process and we're going to be switching these out. And you can see the pattern here. So hopefully you're learning from this. We're going to go into the add labels. We're going to want to go to create in terms of the operations. And so we go messages, draft, create. And then in here, we're going to want to put in the from subject. Again, you could type it in manually, or I can go in here and I can go, so it says email address. So we can add subject back in here, put in that email subject. And we're going to put this one in here. And this one is going to be this one's going to be email body. And we're going to switch this out from text to HTML, just like that. And then we're also going to want to add in the email address. So this is the to email. And then we're going to do this one more time. And we're going to go put this in as email address. Great. Right, that is now connected with that. Creating a draft. Now we have get emails. And with get emails here, what we're going to be doing with this, we're going to want to add the operation of get many. We're going to go inside of here, and we want to be able to say limit how many we want to limit. And so we're going to have the AI limit it for us by changing this into an expression. Put this inside of here, change to expression. And this is just, again, from AI limit how many emails you want the user to have. And then what I'm going to put inside of here, just to speed things up, is we're going to want to take off simplified so it does not simplify the message. And then inside of here for sender, what we're going to want to do is go down to sender, hit enter, and change that to an expression. And it just basically means who the email is from. So now we're going to be able to get however many emails we want based on the AI and who it is from. So that is going us to get emails. Now we're going to do another one here with the get labels. And so we're going to be going down here. We want to switch this out from message to labels, and we're going to want to get many and return all. And we're going to leave that just like that. Cool. And then on this one, we're going to have here is mark as unread. So we're going to go here. When you go to mark as unread, we want to make sure that this is going to be switched out to this, just like that. And this is going to be you can see here is the message ID. Message ID, so that the message ID, if we want to include that, we can. But that is all we need to put inside of there. We'll leave that as that. All of that looks pretty good. And I believe that is our agent ready to go in terms of the tools. The next things we're going to have is we're just going to want to set up here a success node and a try again, or a success and try again node. So we're going to go here. We're going to type in set, put that inside of here, zoom out. There it is. Right. And I can highlight this again, hit Command D to duplicate it. And we're going to connect these up. Connect one, just like that. Connect and have this other one. We're also going to connect it as well in terms of an error status. The way that you get this error status to appear over here, you've opened up the AI agent, you go into status right here. And then what you're going to have here in terms of the settings is instead of stop working flow and error, you want to have continue using error output. What that does here is it creates this error output status, and we can put this in here just like that. Now we're going to go here. I'm going to right click this for rename, and we're going to call this one try again. And then over here, we're going to rename this one to success. So we have this marked as success for us. And then in here, we're going to have an output. So we're going to want to have this be a response, add a field, go up here at the top. I'm going to put in response. And then here, we're going to have this JSON output. All right. So we're here, JSON.output. Perfect. There we go. That looks good. And then with the try again, we want to go inside of here and we're going to put this in. We're going to go name, response, and then we're going to put in unable to perform task. Please try again. There we go. All right. So that is now connected here. We've gotten all these hooked up and ready to go, which looks great. Like it, love it, want more of it. So now what we want to do is we can test this out. I'm going to hit, this has been saved. So it's saved here at the top. We can go here and we know that will work. But the way that we want to have that work, we can just say, for example, if we want to test out the AI automation one, we can say, get my last email. Let's just say that. So we're going to hit test workflow. We're going to open this up, open the Telegram and say, get my last email and let me know what it says. I have that. You can see it's going to go to the email agent right now that we just connected up to this. Okay, so we have something here for the Heroes Rally podcast that I run. Someone was reaching out to me and that's what it was. That was the last one. So we can see that works. That's great. We have that now connected. We can see that ran through here to this email agent and we can tell inside of here, if we go to the executions, we can see that was successful. And we can see here the successful message that it did grab that last email. So we know that was connected and that worked. Great. Wonderful. All right. So now we've gotten that going. The next thing we're going to want to work on here is we can create the database here in terms of contacts. So let's go in here just so we can grab some contacts and we're going to want to get an Airtable. We're going to grab Airtable here. That just populated. No, I apologize. You're not going to get an Airtable. We're going to want to kick it to the next flow. Let me go ahead and delete that. So I'm going to go click on the tools section so that populates into here. Call N8N workflow. There we go. And we can see there it is. And we're going to have this one be called contacts. I'm going to rename this contacts just like that. And then what we're going to do here, open this guy up. We're going to call this one contact agent. Perfect. And call this tool for any contact related actions. And then what we're going to do is, again, we want to connect that. We can grab it from the drop down, but I just like grabbing it from the ID. We're going to go inside of here. We need to go make another sub workflow. And so I'm going to do that by hitting the plus sign here, workflows. And now I have a new workflow here. And we're going to call this one sub agent contacts example, like that. And we're going to grab just this unique ID here at the top. We got that. We're going to go back here to sales agent. And we're going to want to have here is we're going to put in this workflow ID. So it is now connected inside of here. And we're going to start off by using the execute sub workflow. Boom, chakalaka. And we're going to go inside of here. We're going to advance AI agent. We're going to go AI agent just like that. We're going to give it some intelligence from OpenAI, just like this. I'm going to switch this out to N8N so we have the right model inside of here. And then what we're going to do here is we're going to connect Airtable. So this is where I'm going to go into Airtable. We're going to open up Airtable like this. And then we're going to basically, we need to create a base and a row for this. So the way that we do that is we want to go over to Airtable. Let's go ahead and log in here to Airtable. And then what we're going to do here, we're going to say if we want a new workspace, and let's just call this example contacts. Call that the workspace example contacts. And now we need to create inside of here. Let's start from scratch. And we're going to give this, we're going to call this contact example base. So that's now the name of the base. And then table, we're going to rename this table as contact example table. And inside of here, we can add in something like a name. I'll call this one Dylan Watkins, Tanya Mira Montes. And then if we want to change this information out here, what we can do here is we're going to delete this, and we're going to want to add in a couple of things. So we're going to do a single text line item, and the name, we're going to call this one email. And if we want, we can also add in one called phone number. And I have that inside of here. I'm going to put in some fake phone numbers just for some privacy reasons. 714-555-1234. And let's do the same thing inside of here as well. Say 1235. And then emails, I'll put in my email, dylanwatkins@gmail.com. And I believe this one was Hans99. I don't know, was it AOL.com or something like that? We'll just leave it at that. And so those are the two of the emails that we have inside of here. Now that we have that, now in order to get the API to connect this, what you need to do here is you go to the right, you go here and you go to the Builder Hub. I don't know if you can see that. Into the Builder Hub here. Inside of here. And then inside this Builder Hub here, we want to create a new authentication token. We're going to click on that. We're going to call this one contact example. Add in scopes. I know we're going to add in read. We're going to add in write. And then I think we want schema base. Let's do schema base read and schema base write. Can't remember which one it is. So let's just throw in both. So we got all these guys inside of here. That looks good to me. And then we want to add in the base. We can add in all bases or whatever. We're going to do contact example base that we just made right here. We're going to hit create token. So I'm going to copy this over. We're going to go back into here. And if we do as here, we're going to go into this section here. We're going to say create new credentials. And we're going to put in this access token. We want to rename this. I'm going to call this one contact example base. And then I'm going to hit save. We can see that's green, so that did connect. And that looks good to me. And so from here, the base, we hit contact example base. From here to example table. And then with this one, we're going to want to have the AI pull up the data for us. And we're going to want to leave that alone. And in operations, we're going to have this switch to search, just like that. And that is all we need to do for the search records. Now we can do this one more time, but we want to upsert it. So we want to basically install or upsert new data into here. So we're going to go in the Airtable. And then what we're going to want to do is create, I think it's create or update a record. I believe that is, oh no, it's the wrong tool. These right here are going through workflows like this in terms of connections. We don't want that because that's not a tool that the AI can use. We want to click on tools here. So when we go to type in Airtable, like other tools, inside of here, we can go ahead and now modify what we're looking for. So we want to, instead of get a record, we want to be able to create or update. And then again, we're going to choose from the list. Oh, we're on lead nurture. So we're going to switch that out to contact example base. And we're going to switch this out here to contact example base. We want to have this be contact table. And then inside of here, we're going to be looking for some matchings. And so what I'm putting inside of here is we want to start to, how do we match them? We can use the name. That's how we're currently doing it. Something that might be better to do is to use the emails, because emails are a unique identifier versus if there's two John Smiths, it might get confused if it's trying to match it. But just for right now, we're going to use the name as the value to match it with. Now I'm going to go here, and then we're going to do the same thing for name. And then here, we're going to put in email address, and then here we're going to put in phone number. And let me just check my other base and say in terms of the naming, but I think that's good. I think that looks solid. Now we've got these two connected. We're going to want to have the exact same type of response here in terms of success and output. And so the way that we're going to do that is I'm going to rename this to contact agent. And then we're going to open this up and I'm going to paste in. I'm going to switch this out to define below. We're going to change this out to system message. And then we're going to put this in. And again, I'm going to show you this as an expression so we can expand this out easier. And it just basically says, here's the information that we have. If we want to get contacts, I'm going to update contacts. So now it's all inside of there. Inside of here, we're going to use the JSON query method as before. Change this to an expression. And so we're going to have JSON.query, which is usually how the AI makes requests. And then we're also going to want to change the settings here and say continue on using the error. So we get this second node right here. And then what we're going to do here is we're going to want to, I'm just going to copy these over for simplicity, paste these in. These are the set fields that we were showing you from before. We're going to connect success and error. So if we open this up, we have the response JSON output. You can put inside of there. And you can also have the try again, error code, please try again. And we're going to hit save. And so for us to test this out right now, we're going to want to, instead of define using below, we're going to say accept all data. All that looks good. Hit save. We're going to go back into our initial AI agent here and let's test this workflow out right now. Open this up and we're going to say, what is Dylan Watkins' email and my contacts? Let's just check that out real quick. Hit search the contacts. It's coming back to us and we can see that is the email. Great. So then if we want to send that email, we can say send an email to Dylan saying, hello world, this is a test. I'm going to hit Command Enter to retest this out. Test the workflow just like this. And we can see it's just grabbed that last message. It's grabbing the email agent. It's going back and forth, sending that message. And so it said it was successfully sent. And if we go to pull that up right now, let me go log into my email real quick. Let me go here. Oh, we can see here that there is a slight error. We'll go ahead and fix that right now, show you what's up with it. You can see it's from AI, from email body and append with N8N. We can fix that real quick. The way that we do that, we're going to go back inside of the email section inside of here. And we can see here that this is, let me go into editor mode. We want to make sure that, see where it says fixed, we want to change that to expression. And we want to change that to expression. And then we want to go in here, it says attribute append AI. We're going to close that off. And so that is what we're going to do with each one of these to make sure that that's set to an expression. All right. Labels is expression. So that looks good. We got each one of these inside of here, expression, all that looks good. Expression. All right, so it was just the first one. Looks like that was not sent. We're going to do that one more time just for a quick test. We're going to hit save, go back in here, test workflow. I'm going to copy that previous message here. Hit enter. Let me grab it. We're going to open up the email and cool. We just got a new email in. Let's take a look at that right now. We can see here, we got hello world, Dylan, this is a test. Great. So we got that to work and there is no append at the end. Awesome. So now that we've got that going and that rocking, the next agent that we're going to want to build out here, let's go back to this email agent, contact agents, just like that. The next one we're going to want to build is probably the calendar agent. So let's do this. Add a tool, call it in workflow. Over here, we're going to want to call this one calendar agent, just like this. And say, call this tool for any calendar actions. We're going to want to, again, switch this out to ID just so it's easy for us to grab. We'll go here. I'm just going to, again, hold down the command button, open up the workflow. Inside of here, we're going to call this one sub agents, and then we'll call this one calendar example. Hit save. We're going to grab the top part of this unique ID here at the top. Now we've got that grabbed. We're going to go back inside of here for the calendar agent, and we're going to paste in that ID so it is now connected. We're going to hit save, and then we're going to rename this one to calendar. Perfect. Now we've got that connected. Hit save again, and we're going to want to start building out this calendar agent. The way that we're going to do that is we're going to execute the node. When executed, so this is the trigger for it to go off, we're going to switch this out to accept all data. We're going to open this guy up here right now, and then we're going to go into advanced AI agent. We're going to go down here to AI agent class here at the top. We want to switch this define below. And I believe this, as we had before, we're going to want this to be JSON.query. We have that inside of there. And then we want to populate it with some more data inside of here. So I'm going to copy this. We're going to change this one as a name to calendar agent. We got that going. And then inside of here, We want to add in a system message. I'm going to system message. We're going to expression this so that we can expand it outwards. I'm going to paste this in. And this inside of here, it just talks to you about the calendar, what you can do, what kind of events we have, file notes. Here's the day and time, just so it knows the day and time. This was me having, for the example for the video, saying, hey, make sure that you convert this kind of message inside of here, formatting into this type of message, and don't include these outputs because I was having some things breaking with the Telegram. So I just did a little final training there so it knew what to expect. All of that looks good. We now need to add in some intelligence. Switches to N8N. We click on the tools button. We're going to type in calendar. And now we've got the calendar tool across here. We're going to have 5 of these that are going to be connected. And just to show you some other ways to do it a little bit quicker than you've seen some of the process, Command D, 3, 4, 5. We've got all 5 of these connected inside of here. And then we can start to rename these right now just so you can see that. And we're going to rename this one Update Events. We want to give the ability here to delete event. We're going to call this one Get Events. And then over here, we're going to call this one Create Event. We're going to be creating one event at a time. Rename, we're going to call this one Create Event with attendee, just like that. We're going to want to connect all of these together. So now they're all connected. Great. And now we're going to start updating each one of these. I'm going to change this from the AI Meet one. I have multiple ones inside of here, but let's just do the AI counter. That's the one I was using from before. And then when I hit this calendar list, you can see that I did this right because it populated with the calendar I want. If I would have had a different calendar, for example, and I got into calendar meets, this one would have had a different calendar, Dylan Watkins Meet. So I'm going to switch back to the AI one, and this shows me which one calendar I am on. And then what we're going to update, we're going to put in here, change it to expression. And this is from AI event ID. So you can see that is putting the event ID in here. And then we're going to want to have this inside of here. We want to add in the end time and the start time. We're going to look for the end time. And then we're going to look for the start time. Where is that start time? There it is. Great. And I'm going to paste it in to make sure that, here we go. Just like that. We're going to change that to an expression. Paste that in. So we have end times. And then over here, change this to an expression. We're going to paste this in. I'm going to change this from end time to start time. So now it's got the context inside there. I don't want the summary. We're going to get rid of the summary. That is all we're going to need for updating the event. Now, same process before. We're going to close this out. We're going to move this over to here. Change this one to AI. Select the calendar. Select AI just like this. And with this one, we're going to hit in terms of deleting. And then we're going to want to put in the event ID. So I'm just going to paste this from AI, and we're going to call this one event ID. So now we have the event ID. That looks good. And then we're going to do the same thing here with get events. Switch this one out to AI calendar. Dylan Watkins AI. And then we're going to want this one to be, what are we doing? We're getting events. So we're going to want to get many. So we get multiple events for the day. This can be return all if we want, but I think 50 events is probably more than enough for what we need here. And what we're going to do is I'm going to paste in the same pattern, just because you've probably seen this enough times now, is from AI day before and then description of what we're returning. Right. And then this next one is going to be the day after. So I'm going to copy and paste that in right now. Copy, paste that in right now like that. So we've gotten that connected. So that looks good. And we're going to create the event. And the way we do that is click on create events, same pattern as before, AI, calendar, select this. And then we're going to want to paste in start times and end times inside of here. Start times, make sure that's an expression over here. And this is going to be called event says start. We'll call this event end. Great. So now we have all that inside of there, and then we can add in a field of the summary title. So if we go down here, we can see summary, and that's the description. So inside your Google Calendar, you have a description section. This right here is the description section. Have that be set to fixed, and that should be good with that. And then the last one we have here is create event with attendee. So we're going to be switching this out again to AI account. We're going to want to select the calendar. And I should have switched this out calendar at the beginning and then duplicated it. That's way I don't have to keep changing these things out. As it happens, it is what it is. And so I'm gonna put this inside of here. We're gonna put in the start time as an expression. We're gonna wanna put in the end time, just like that. And then we're gonna wanna do is we wanna have in the attendees email. So we're gonna put in attendees, that. And then we're gonna add the expression. And this is just saying event attendee email. So if we're gonna be adding in the event attendees email inside of there. So if we wanna add people, like add Tanya to the email event, we can put that in there. And then the next one we're gonna wanna have in is the summary for anything else that we want to add inside of here. So we go down to summary and we can put in this show event title right here. So that is all of these now set up, hooked up, ready to go. Make that look a little bit nicer. Perfect. And then again, just so you can see the same pattern as before, the way that we have one line coming out, it's only giving outputs that are successful. We want to change that to be outputs to continue on error. We're going to open this up, settings, and we're going to say continue on using error output. I'm going to paste these in for success and try again. You can copy those over. Success, try again. Open this up. We have our output inside of here, and we can say try again. Unable to perform the fonts, please try again. All of that looks good. And then we're going to hit save. Great. So let's go ahead and now test this out and see if we got this to work in terms of calendars. So I'm going to go inside of here, wait for the trigger, open this up. I'll say, what events do I have for today? It's going to go across. It's going to go to the calendar we just made. It's going to grab it. It's going to send back the data. And we can see that we have Tanya Miramontes for the day. And again, if we go inside of the calendar, we can go here to executions. We look at this thing that just got completed, and we can see that this is now grabbing that output from the day because this one went into get events for the day. And this is all of the data that the AI was able to populate for the day. And so now we've been able to get events for the day. And so now we've been able to create the search, the email agent, the contacts database, and the calendar of events. And we are trucking right along. The last one we're going to make here is the scraper agent. And we're going to go inside of here and we're going to do, actually, we're going to click on tools again, and we're going to go call workflow. And we're going to title this one scraper agent. And so we're going to go here at the top. We're going to call this one scraper agent. And we're going to go here and call this one website scraper, and call this tool to create scrape websites. To create scrape websites. That's close enough. So that looks good. We're going to hit save here. It's going to want for the flow. So we're going to hit workflow ID. We can go here again. We hit the plus sign, hit command. We go to workflow. We go inside of here. And then we're going to want to be able to scrape that website. And so the way that we're going to do that, we want to give this one a title. We go sub agent dash scraper. And then we're going to hit save. And now we're going to grab this unique ID just like this. Hit save. We're going to go here to the scraper agent, move this guy off to the side. And then we can enter in the ID. So it is now connected. And then we hit save. So let's hop back into this last area for the sub agent here for creating a scraper. And we're going to start off by getting the executes a previous sub workflow here for a trigger. So we're going to switch this out again to accept all incoming data. And what we're going to be doing here is we're going to go inside, we're going to go into the message a model. So let's say if I type the message a model, no, let's do OpenAI, search for OpenAI. And then we're going to have this not create a message assistant, but we want to message a model. There we go. Now, inside of here is just something I'm putting in place to just capture anything in case it comes in weirdly formatted, to format it for us to the best of its ability. So we're going to switch this out to N8N. My credentials for OpenAI for that one. We can choose the 4.0 mini or whatever one you want to use. And then inside here, we can change this out to expression. I'm going to open this up, and then we're going to paste this in. And this is just, your job is to format websites in proper format. So if I give you something like this, then you're going to want to clean it up. So I just got to convert it into something like this. And this just gives it a little bit of formatting so it knows what to do as need be. I think I also need to do a slash like that. Great. That is all I think we really need to do with this inside of here. We want to make sure that this is on expression so that when we use this JSON.query, it will actually be a variable coming through this execute. We also want to make sure that we have the simplified output. We don't need to have that. We can have that set as that. And I think that should be good to go there. The next thing is we're going to want to have a HTTP request. This just allows us to make a call to that website. And we're going to want to get the message to come across into here. And the way that we're going to want to do that is I'll put this inside of here as an expression here. And we're going to put in JSON.message and then content. This is really saying that the previous JSON message, we're going to grab the content, and OpenAI, when it outputs the result, is known as content. So that's why we want to be able to grab that and close that out. That looks good. And then we're going to do HTML from website. So we're going to go here, send this back out, go across here, and we're typing HTML. You see where it says work with HTML, and we're going to extract HTML content. Perfect. We got that. The key is going to be data that we want to have. And then we're going to have the CSS selected be a asterisk text. Everything else looks good. That looks good to me. And then we're going to have another one of these message and model types. If I want, I can grab this, select this one itself, Command D to duplicate it, bring it over here. I'm going to drag this across. And this one right here is, we're going to call this, we're going to rename this one to format a website. And then over here, we're going to have rename into summarize website, just like that. And what we're going to want to do with this is we're going to want to make sure that we have this changed out from that to this. And this is reviewing a website to understand the businesses, and we'll be reaching out to them if possible. And then there's some things that in general I want to feed it is the offer, the target audience, the paid points, unique selling positions, anything else I want to have inside of it. But this is, and then the JSON data. That way we're going to be getting over, that's primarily from a sales perspective, what we're going to want to sort out and get that data on. And then finally, we're going to have a set data, set model here, node, so set field. And this right here, we can change this one to response. All right. And then we're going to want to add in the response or the results. Let's put in results or response. And then we're going to want to have this be a previous message. And anytime you want to grab the previous message from something else, this is a format you can use. So we're going to change this to expression, double curly brace, that opens it up, and you can do JSON.message.out.content. This is coming from an AI again, just like this is changed to expression. Oh, I didn't put that money sign here in front of this. That's important. There we go. Went from red to gray so that we know that looks good. And have that and hit save. Cool. Ooh, this section inside of here, I did not bring this across. Let me reconnect this over. Go down here, bring that across, connect this guy up. Okay. History requests, all that's coming through here. So we're gonna hit save. We're gonna go back into here. And what I'm gonna do, we're gonna hit test webflow. And we're gonna open this up and say, we got this information, go, what meetings do I have for the day? And you can see it's going to go, it's going to look at the calendar, it's going to pull up, it's going to show us that we do have this meeting again. Great. And then we'll ask, we're going to test this again. Here's the workflow. Go, can you go to Tanya's website and tell me about it? Send it across. Now we know this is going to go across. This is now going to go to the website scraper. Ooh, we got a little bit of an error, so we'll find out what's going on with that due to the invalid URL. So let's just see exactly what's going on with this. Go here. We can click across here. We can look at this. It's just agent scraper example. So we'll make sure the title is right. And if we go to executions, we can take a look at this and find out what is the error that we got. Message content undefined. Okay, so that's not looking good. So one thing you can do with this, so you can see you can hit debug in editor, And that's going to bring this over to here. So now you're working with that message that came through. And let's find out exactly why this is not working. So we'll switch this schema format so we can see what's going on with it. We want this to be right. So for some reason that didn't come across the way that we wanted to. So we're going to bring this across. We know that now works. Let's test this step. Okay, we've got the HTTP request. Now that we can do this, let's test this step to see how this works. Okay, that looks good for the terms of an output. Inside of here, let's test this one. It's now going to be looking at the data. And let's just take a look at role. Tanya offers taxes and services as needed. Great, so we know that works. And then we'll test this last step, which should be connected. Okay, null. So we saw that did not work. That's how you can do these little micro tests like this. So again, we can take this, we can drag this in like this. And now we have this as the response coming across. I'm going to hit save. All of that looks good. And so if we were to do the same thing again at the beginning here, we can hit test workflow, open up this, and then we can say, again, make that same request, send that across. You can see it's hitting the scraper agent now. It's now updating the data, it's kicking it back, and we can see we're going to get this information. Great. Awesome. We got that whole thing working. We're going to hit save on this, and that looks good. And just so we can add in a little bit of ability to calculate anything in case we need to, you can add in a calculator function. This is where you can see this as another tool marked down here below. There's not really much you can do with it. It's just whenever you want to do math or whatever, you can just connect this up, over, and across. And there we go. That is everything. This is how you can make an AI agent that can take both voice or text. You can allow it to feed it any of the tools to be able to search Google, do any of your emails, go through your contact database, add, edit, update calendar events, search those websites, and calculate anything and send an output. That is everything. All right, that is it. That's how you can build your very own AI agent to assist you with sales. If you found this to be valuable, please give this a thumb and a likes up. And if you would like to get these templates for the AI agent, I'll be providing them down below. And if you'd like me to build out a custom version of this for yourself, I'll have a link to book a meeting with me down below too. Have a blessed day. Enjoy yourselves. Much love. And I will see you on the other side now. Bye.